Well, there are fears that today's action could spark a large-scale humanitarian crisis with the potential loss of millions of lives. Our news correspondent Zara King is at Ukraine's embassy in Dublin for us this lunchtime. Zara, protests against the military action taking place across the capital today. What are those demonstrators saying?
Look, Colette, they're frankly devastated. Of course, they were expecting the worst, but they had been hoping for the best. We were here at the Ukrainian embassy yesterday speaking with the ambassador, Larisa Garesko, and at the time she had been saying to us, we asked her, do you think that the war could be prevented? And she still held out some sort of hope. So you can imagine the shock of these people when they woke this morning to hear this news. A small group of protesters gathering outside the Russian embassy, Ukrainian nationals speaking about that devastation. One woman telling our reporter Tanya Royce that she had been due to fly home to Ukraine this morning and had that flight cancelled, and she's now trying to figure out how she's going to get there. Also among the demonstrators there this morning were a small number of Russian citizens who are opposed to their government's actions, and then as officials were leaving that building this morning there were chants of liar, liar, liar. Let's take a listen to some of those vox pops from this morning.
We all woke up to the most horrible morning in our lives, and we are trying to understand and figure out how can we help and where the family is, because there is no such notion as safe anymore. It's very painful to read, to update the news feed during the day, because it's just the velocity and the speed of events. It's just something unbearable.
My husband, he planned to come back to Ireland, but my father, my grandparents, they stay at home, and they have no plans because there is their home. They don't need to go anywhere.
Look, at the reality for the Ukrainians living in Ireland is they are now like that, having to make a life decision on whether or not they're going to stay here or if they're going to return home. We heard yesterday from Larisa Garesko, the Ukrainian ambassador, about the fact that some Ukrainians really want to go home and fight for their country and to protect their country. We can see pictures at the moment outside Leinster House, demonstration continuing there in support of the Ukrainian nationals. I suppose in a statement this morning, Colette, just a brief line from the Ukrainian ambassador just saying that this is an act of war. It is an attack on the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. She says it's a brutal violation of the UN Charter and basic norms and principles of the international law. Now, we were in contact as well this morning with the Russian embassy, Colette, to see if they might be available for an interview or to explain this situation. We were told that the ambassador is not available for media today, but they will be issuing a statement this afternoon.